Hey guys, CODENAMEBIGBEAR here. So today we're going to be doing a review of Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel 3 for the Nintendo Switch. This game was actually due out on the 30th of June, so keep an eye out for it if you like the look of the game during this review. I don't know. The game's been out for a little while, well, on other consoles at least anyway. I think it's since 2017. It's been on PlayStation, Xbox, but it's finally getting released on Switch, and that's why we're doing this today. So if you can do us a massive favour, if you can like, share and subscribe for us. All the links are below. We have plenty of videos and reviews like this on our YouTube and on our website. We have tons of articles as well. We've been doing this for years and years and years, so there's loads of content to go through. So again, all the links are below. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. And well, let's just get back to this review, shall we? So first off, what is this game? So this game is a JRPG. It's a game that, well, a game style that I don't normally play at all myself. But I took it on because I wanted to expand my gaming horizons a little. And I think it worked out pretty well for me in the end. So this game, you play as Rean Schwarzer, who is the Ashen Chevalier. And basically that means he was the hero of the previous two games in this series. And the Ashen Chevalier is the dude who controls his awesome mech that he has called Valimar. Which, you know, it's kind of standard affair. You know, so you always play the young guy in these games who ends up having the big powerful thing. You know, so Rean is what, 19 years old in this game. This game is set a year after Trails of Cold Steel 2, and we follow him, well, his life after the war, and now he is a teacher or an instructor at Thor's Academy. Thor's Academy branch, at least, anyway. So it's like an offshoot of the school he was in previously. And now he's teaching his former class, which is Class 7, to become new soldiers, and they're getting tasks and basically sent out on missions to go from there as well. So Rean's class consists of 3 other people, that is it. One of them is Altena, who was a character in the previous game, who we'd met, and she knows Rean anyway. You have Yuna, who is from a different country that was taken over by, well, by Rean's country in the last game. But she was a former police student and did very, very well, but she has now been moved to Class 7 of Thor's Academy branch. Ugh, can't speak today. And yeah, and she kind of just hates everyone around her, especially Rean for some reason. She really just doesn't like him at all. And then you also have Kurt, who is pretty much a noble in this world, who is just kind of getting by. He's like, yeah, it's fine, you know, I got my swords, let's go to battle and let's work things out. But essentially this game, you know, it starts off as you'd expect. You know, you start off with a little bit of a battle, and then it goes back a few months in time to establish what the heck was going on there. Now you start off with Rean arriving to the school, so your first few hours of this game is literally the school life, which is fine. Yeah, it goes on for quite a while. There was a period where I was just clicking A for about an hour before I was able to actually move my characters myself and stuff, which personally, as somebody who's not a massive fan of JRPGs and just wants to play a game, that was a bit irritating for myself. I did power through though, and eventually got to play the game, which was where the game just kind of, you know, becomes fun, which becomes a game, I suppose. Now, the story it goes on, it goes off in branches. It goes on for a long time, and essentially your characters are the ones that are relations from the army to the civilians. You got to build that relationship so they trust you, so they understand that you're not trying to harm them in any way, and you're just trying to help out the world as much as you possibly can. For instance, you can fight big mechanical monsters, you can fight big slug monsters, all sorts of things. You can even just go and hunt down, well, say hunt down, you can even go and, well, look for someone's lost cat as well. You know, all sorts of little things like this. There's loads of stuff you can do in the game as well. You can also play a card game, which is very much like Magic the Gathering. Which is a game I played in real life for a while. So I stuck on this game for probably about 2 hours during the first initial thing. And once I got past the training level of that particular game, I went back into it and played that for a while. That was really good fun. And if you want a little distraction whilst you're playing that, well, you've got essentially Magic the Gathering to play. Now you also have other tasks as well that you can do as well. So for other characters that were in previous games, kind of pop up all the time in this, and you're always kind of bumping into someone you knew, even though you're in a completely different area. They seem to have followed you along a little bit, probably because your character Reen is pretty famous. So people are just turning up. So you have Monk, who is a radio host. He asks you to get some juicy gossip as you're out and about in the world. And then you also have Vivi, or Vivi. I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce it, but I'm pretty sure it's Vivi. But she's a junior reporter, and she's asking you not for stories, but for photographs of the local areas and stuff. So once you as soon as you meet her, you go off into one area, and you find a plot of land, and you get to take a picture. You don't get to manually control that one, sadly, which is a little bit annoying, but hey, it's not me. I didn't design this game, did I? Now, combat in this game is pretty sweet. I'm not. So me and turn-based games go back to Final Fantasy VII, goes back to all of that, and after Final Fantasy VIII, I just kind of stopped. That game really annoyed me, and I'm sorry if I've bothered people there, but it really just didn't sit well with me, and I didn't want to play it anymore, those kind of games. So that was it. Since Final Fantasy VIII, I've not really played a JRPG. So getting to play a turn-based RPG again this one was actually really cool. The animations within the battle itself are spectacular, especially when you open up your big moves. So you can have Reen do his 7-leaf slash, I think it is, or 8-leaf slash. 7-leaf slash, and he gets a nice little animation going on that lasts for about a minute, for 30 seconds or so. And then you also got some really cool stuff as well. So it's not just kind of you hit your bad guy and then it's your mate's turn. You can hit your bad guy and stun him, and then that can cause a chain reaction where you have another party member come along and they come in and do a little attack as well. But not only that, during these battles, you can switch out your party as well. So you've always got a party of 4. No matter what, you've got a party of 4. But if you've met another character that's kind of joining you for a couple of missions here and there, during the battle, you can press left or right on the kind of D-pad, and you can switch that character out. It takes a move, mind, but you can switch the character out and have a whole different moveset that can really, really help you, which means the battles can go on for quite a while, but it also gives you a chance to actually, win. But it's just quite cool. It gives you loads of variety in that. Not only that, you have obviously tons of items that you can play around with. You've got tons of combinations of these Link battles. So you can have Reen team up with Altina, but also you can eventually switch that around and have that with Yuna instead, or Altina and Yuna are the team that will have a combination battle with it. Yuna's actually quite interesting, actually. She's kind of melee and ranged, and you can switch that during a battle at any point, no problem. Which I suppose kind of come to be expected. Now, I've talked about the game looking really nice during battles and stuff, but the presentation of this game is really kind of a bit of a downfall for me, because the characters themselves, the character models, all look spectacular. They're so well made and put together, and they really look like they are just an anime that's just come to life, which is pretty cool. But if you go back to my Trials of Mana review, I mentioned the graphics having kind of like this blocky edging, kind of everything looked flat, and I kind of gave it a pass. I just said, it actually looks really good because it's based off a game that is 20 years old. With Trials of Cold Steel, this game is only 3 years old, and it has the same issues going on there, and I'm not sure if I can give it the same pass, so I am going to. It's one that I'm not going to take it away from it that much. But if you look at it, there's very flat textures all the way through it. Things are very blocky. Apart from the actual characters themselves,
My turn.
it kind of reminds me of, say, PlayStation 2 era, but with ultra high definition graphics in comparison. Say ultra, maybe not, I don't know, but high definition graphics in comparison anyway. And it just kind of shocked me a little bit, especially when you have NPCs walking around and their planted foot is still sliding across the floor as they're walking, and it just looks a bit odd. I don't know why this was done. I don't know why this game chose to make the characters move like that. But you have an example on the screen anyway to look at. Now, music in this game is really quite beautiful. I really like it. The only thing I do have is that the same tunes are used quite often throughout, so you may get very annoyed because this game supposedly is going to be about 67 hours, something like that, maybe even more. I mean, some people I've seen on the internet go 90, 100 plus. So it depends on you. But the music can grate a little bit, but I do think it's very lovely, and it only got great a little bit because I was just in an irritable mood, I think, to be honest. But that's my own personal thing there. When you look at the whole package as a whole, with its presentation, with the characters, the way they look, with the world and what the world is set up, the world is pretty cool. Once it opens up outside of the Thor's Academy branch, it is really cool. You got some great forest to look at. You got a really cool castle, a massive cathedral to look at, and all. You meet tons of these characters, and the package works so well. And I think for someone like myself who is not a fan of these type of games, by the time I stopped playing this, I really found myself enjoying it, and I was genuinely surprised by that. So this game, it was really quite nice. Now, one thing I haven't really mentioned throughout this, which is definitely for anybody who's thinking about playing this game that hasn't played the previous games. Now, you can absolutely enjoy this game without playing the previous ones. Reason being is, one, there's tons of videos out there that can give you the backstory of these games, but there's also in-game logs that tells you what's happened in the previous games, tells you about the characters that may pop up within this one as well. And that fills you in quite a lot. There's got a lot of reading, an absolute ton of reading to deal with, but it's all there to help you understand this game, and it does a pretty good job too. A small issue with it is every now and again there's the odd spelling mistake. There's wrong pronouns might be used, for instance, and the localization is a bit teensy little bit wonky, but I'm not sure if that's I'm not sure if that's a really major problem. It's only wonky in the sense of the presentation is a bit odd. Again, it's just could be every JRPG. I don't know. This is just my first major experience with this kind of game, and seeing a conversation happen. So, for instance, Reen is talking to an old friend of his using essentially his phone and doing like a Skype call. And you can hear the person Reen's talking to, no problem. He's got, you can hear his voice, but when Reen replies, it's just a text box.
I can definitely see him going there. But it's like he's putting himself in a position to go up against his dad. I'm a little worried.
This game is one of those. I have spoken about things that I did enjoy, I didn't enjoy. The fact that I was sat down for an hour before I even played the game reading, and then it was an hour of cutscene before I could even really get into the game properly, was honestly the most annoying thing. But the accessibility to newcomers to this game is actually really good, and I think it's honestly worth it. But, again, not knowing anything else about the previous games, that was really good to have there. It would be like kind of, considering this game actually is part of like a 9-game series, and this is the third game in the sub-series of said series. I think that's really cool. It doesn't tell you about the rest of the games, but it tells you about Reen's past, for instance. Covered everything. You do have some really cool stuff to deal with. I could complain about more things, but they're just really just nitpicks. Just kind of like when you're in battles, for instance, you have your party going on there. That's all really good, but once you get into your giant mechs, into Valmir, for instance, I was expecting to have maybe a different kind of battle system happening. Maybe more of a free-flow robot-style battle, but it was still turn-based. Just kind of a few little things like that just irritated me, but that's not gonna dampen my idea of this game. I was because of how long it took to get in this game, I was honestly thinking, I'm just gonna give this game a 4. I'm not even interested. This has just annoyed me, but that's not what I'm gonna do today. Today, I'm actually gonna look at it, and I again really enjoyed myself by the time I put this game down. And I played for quite a while as well, and this game is definitely a solid 7. It's a good game. It's well worth a look at. If you are into JRPGs, pick this game up. If you are not, might not be the best one to start with. You know, maybe you could deal with like Ni no Kuni, for instance, which is a game I've started and actually really enjoyed, but I only played for 2 hours, so I don't know if that's true. But you know, maybe it's not the best one to start off with if you've never played a JRPG before, because it might be a bit of a shock to the system having to kind of read a lot of the text and deal with things like that as well. But again, I really enjoyed myself with this game. You know, it's a really beautiful looking game. It's got some great presentation. The voice acting is pretty great. You know, the battle system is actually kick-ass, to be honest. And the creature designs, they're really cool. Some of them are quite gross. You got a big squishy slug thing and a big old spider as well. But anyway, that's my review of Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel 3. I hope you enjoyed it. If you guys could do us a massive favor and just like, share, subscribe, get this out there, help us out a little bit, that would be really cool. And most of all, don't forget to be nice to each other, yeah?
Welcome.